tell us about major and even minor autohemotherapy, and then the latest sort of 10 past major autohemotherapy that people are doing.
All right, so let's start with what we call major autohemotherapy. This is, I think, as you pointed out, the sort of the classic. This goes way back to the early 60s when it was first developed in Germany, and we still use it today. Some of us make some variations on it, but pretty close. It's the way it was originally established in the 1960s. It's a very simple, safe, easy procedure. Basically, we put a needle into a vein in an arm, and then we let the blood drain out. We drain out anywhere from 100 milliliters to maybe 200 milliliters, something in that zone. And once the blood's drained out into either a bottle or a bag, we can then inject ozone, which is a gas, into that bottle or bag, kind of mix up the blood. And what's immediately going to happen to all that blood is every cell in that blood is now got electrons moving around like crazy, including you've got immune system cells in there of all different kinds. And the immune system cells, as they move these electrons faster and faster, what's going to happen is they're going to become much more effective at what they do. We kind of alluded to this a little earlier. And then you got red blood cells in there. They're going to do all kinds of interesting things, all of which is described. I mean, we know this stuff. But there's going to be a lot of interesting effects to the red blood cells. And then you've got platelets in there. It's going to affect the platelets, and the platelets do a lot of very interesting things, especially around restorative things. And then we're creating a lot of peroxides in the blood itself. So that's what's going on now in that blood that's just been treated with the ozone. So then we take that blood, which is now almost like a medicine, hang it up on the thing and run it right back into the patient. And the whole thing takes maybe 45 minutes, half hour, something like that. But when that blood gets back into the patient, lots of things start happening. The peroxides in the blood start initiating electron movement all over the whole body, including the brain. The white cells in the blood home down into the spleen and the lymph nodes and the liver and the bone marrow. And these white cells go into these areas and induce electron movement in all the other white cells. So this is huge for infections, particularly the C19 that we're seeing, but it's just for any viral infections, it's about as close to a knockout punch as I've ever seen, because of the way these white cells get in there and immediately start turning on all the other white cells in the body. Okay. And the red blood cells are great for the circulation issues. And so you can repeat this. So you could do it in the morning, you could do it again in the afternoon, you could do it 3 times a day. If you got somebody that's sick in a hospital, you could do it 5-6 times a day. It's easy to do, incredibly cheap, and 0 side effects, 0 dangers of any kind. So that's your standard major autohemotherapy. The multipass that you're talking about is when you do that repetitively, one right after another.
Okay.